guess let's start by saying the tone words that I had.
Okay.
So like
Yeah.
suspense, urgent, and like mocking.
Okay. So I have panicked, contempt, and dismayed.
Okay, so we're on
fairly
the same.
similar. Okay. Cool.
So like today in lab, I kind of really liked how the lights and stuff was, and like that's what I was telling Luke. I was like, don't be mad, but like I kind of want this to be what we do next week, but I didn't want to like make everybody recreate everything they did today and make it like not like they didn't have any, what's the word, like just make it like no point basically.
Yeah.
So, but I think like lighting wise, it was fun.
Yeah. I definitely kind of want to. I definitely want to play around with like that first like main setup or whatever where we're starting off because it was a little off there, but I really liked how dramatic it was, like especially when he was like, it says yeah, when he says to fix the situation I'm gonna have to ask you for a small favor. It had that like really hard, like really dramatic lighting on it, and I actually really liked that, so I'm gonna try my best to recreate that. But I think to kind of get these tone words, I kind of need a harsher contrast. I need like the thin side to be a lot darker, because it was almost there, but it wasn't. Like it was still kind of flat because I was kind of coming over towards this too much. I want to kind of be closer to the center. Did you guys come up with that dolly? Just like
Yeah, that was something like I was thinking of playing around with, but like that was Luke totally in the moment. But like my first original thought was like in the beginning, like he hits him, and I was thinking about like zooming in on him, like rubbing his head and like pulling out from that, like he hit me or whatever. But I really do like the phone thing that he did because it like gives it more of a.
It does feel like Hitchcock too, to like start like that and then this like big sweeping kind of like movement.
And one thing, like, because we had to research about Hitchcock, like one thing that he says a lot is let the camera tell the story as much as possible.
Almost like it's another character. Yeah. Like you want the audience to feel like they're kind of like in there with everybody, which I think that what we did in the lab kind of feels like that.
Yeah, and then like with that, it gave it more opportunity because I think Hitchcock does is like the extreme close-up of something that you know is going to be important later, and then like the reactions of everybody else, which sit up there. How do you feel about having the dolly again next week?
I'd be fine with that. I would. Now that we're getting a better plan, I would probably I would just give the G&E department my lighting diagram, and I would just like get the camera built like that, and then I would just spend time like as soon as you're done like working like through their performances, if we could literally just like sit there and like just a couple practice runs of me like going through the whole thing with the actors and stuff like that. That would be cool because I do like that move a lot. Yeah.
As far as like shot sizes and stuff, one thing Hitchcock does, which I feel like I keep repeating, but like, you know, he starts in tight on something, and then he widens it, and then he comes back into like the people's details, and he shows you whatever it is.
I know we kind of did it because we were a little bit rushed, but I almost want to be like, I almost want to push. I know it might be a little bit harder, but I kind of want the dolly track a little bit closer to the phone so we can be real tight on it.
Yes.
And then like I can move back as we come over to the like, why'd you hit me?
Yeah.
That way, like we're messing around with different shot sizes. Like we're really messing around because today it was just kind of like a little bit wide, medium close up, two shot. Like I want to go like close up, medium close up, two shot, like a wider two shot, like kind of like mess with it a little bit.
And that's what I was thinking too, because when I walked in, I was like, these dolly tracks is kind of far back and farther than I thought it was going to be, but it's all right. So
Did you like the 85 or?
I did.
Okay.
I did like
I did
it.
too.
Oh, also we have to make photo boards, but I don't expect this to get done like, cause who the fuck has time? It's like a week. I mean, I guess we knew, but you know, that's my fault. But we can honestly do that after the weekend shoot, cause we have another day in the lab the following Tuesday to get the reverse side.
Okay.
Cause I think I want to start off with getting Cameron's coverage first for
Okay.
next week. So like the first lab, getting on with Cameron's coverage, and then
Is the Dolly's our master? I'm taking it.
yeah.
And then we're also just gonna get coverage of them.
See, that's the thing that I'm trying to like work out in my mind, because we're kind of getting coverage of both of them right now.
The way it's set up, we're mainly getting. I guess Cameron's the one on the phone. Yeah. So right now we're mainly getting coverage of Cameron,
Mhm.
just because of where the camera was and the blocking of Ferris.
Mhm.
So. I would play with the blocking maybe a little
Yeah.
bit, because of what Luke was talking about with, like, you know, kind of them coming around.
Mhm.
Like, if you, I mean, we do start on Cameron, but maybe when Cameron comes this way, instead of having, like, where is it?
When she looks like,
See, that's, yeah, the problem is that Ferris doesn't have anything, like, big to say, so I was gonna say, like, maybe when Cameron comes closer, almost have, like, turn around so that we can also get Ferris, but I don't know, it might be, maybe just use the dolly shot as, like, the master, and then we could get coverage of each of them, make it a little bit simpler, but it also kind of just depends on, like, what, I mean, really what you want to do
right.
with it, if that works or not.
I mean, I was just like thinking, like, cause it's with the like the dollar shot, like it's a lot of movement. Cause like if we come back the next week, cause that's what I was thinking about too. Like when we come back, I don't want to just have stagnant shots and then everything else is like really like dynamic and then
Yeah.
life.
Yeah. See, the one that I like, and I feel like it really is Hitchcockian.
Mhm.
And it was kind of like what Luke was talking about with, like, you know, the camera's like, oh yeah, you're right, but it's like, oh, maybe this person's right.
Mhm.
I love having the dolly track, like the two people basically just standing there talking,
Ooh.
and then literally, like, that's the camera movement, is like we're on this person, but as we come around, we over to them, and then back, and we're just sliding back and forth between them, almost like kind of giving the audience whiplash, almost like you are sitting there like, oh, let's like
Yeah.
little tennis match of this argument. Again, it is kind of like the dolly shot that we try today. It's a little more dynamic and a little harder to do, but
I feel like that gives us more like options at least.
so we can keep that in mind. I mean, I love.
So would that be like a pan, kind of?
It's like a pan and a dolly. So like basically like,
So-
it's literally like, it would be like behind me on you, and then it would stay on you as you're talking, and then as you finish, it comes around to me.
Do we have like, would we need like curved?
We would probably have to use the old, like,
tracks?
the old,
Ah!
yeah, which I don't know if they're gonna want us to do that, which
Yeah.
is like, but
That is true, but I really like that idea.
we'll sit on it. We'll think
Yeah.
about it.
I don't know what the hell to say to make this video 30 minutes. Just let's stare. We got 10 minutes in. Stare in the camera for 20 minutes.
Are you happy?
I don't know. I guess I'll tell you some more about Hitchcock. What I fucking found out.
Absolutely.
One thing, like they talked about, like the suspense model he used. So like the secret, showing people the secret plan. So like the phone, for example, and then we show them waiting nervously, and then the delays come in. So like that's when the comedic delays come. Like I feel like it could be we could have, well, at least for me, could have a lot of fun with the, you hit me. Where's your brain? Like,
Mhm.
I can see that it's like.
Well, that's it. Like even I was watching the scene, and like there's like certain pauses that they use, where like I think it was like right with the like I asked you first or whatever. It's like, it goes like, why'd you hit me? Where's your brain? And then they could just go back and forth really quickly, and he goes, where's your brain? I asked you first, and it's like that like quick little pause is still like it's so funny.
Cause like, where is my brain?
And also like it does add like a little bit of like suspense in it too, like in like a really weird way, but.
And what to the else? It just kind of sucks because like we just did it.
I think I'm definitely gonna play with the color temperature because I went with like I didn't put any gels or anything on the lights just because first of all time, but I figure since it's all like motivated by daylight pretty much because like windows and stuff like that, but I didn't like how white it was, so I'm probably gonna try and mess with color temperature a little bit, see if we can get it like more. I guess like a little bit. See, I don't know. I kind of want to go like just a tinge warmer, just like a little bit, not like crazy.
It's 1 o'clock.
Yeah, like yeah, just a little bit though. I don't want to go like crazy with it,
Right.
but yeah.
Oh, POVs. That's one thing that Hitchcock does a lot.
Okay.
I don't know if we'll have a lot of, obviously, like a lot of opportunity to do the POVs in the lab, but most definitely outside the lab.
And play with that a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean,
Cause I need to give y'all the second, the other, what's it called? The script. Have you seen Ferris Bueller?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so it's when Ferris is trying to talk Cameron into stealing his grandpa's car.
Okay, so is that?
But I'm changing some of the words around because I absolutely don't have like a really nice car.
Yeah, we don't have a Ferrari. But so that's in the. Is that in the garage?
Yeah.
Okay.
We could we could either shoot in the garage or like, I was thinking outside because like it's more light to play with. Hopefully if it's nice, but if it's not nice, we can go in the garage.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Ooh, that could be an interesting, like, I know the scene roughly.
Oh, you can pull it up like we got 20 minutes to skill.
Yeah, I know the scene roughly, but like it could be cool to like play with POV with literally having like him in the driver's seat and like have that POV with someone's like hands on the steering wheel or like even just like sitting there kind of like moving ever so slightly, and then have Ferris like come in and be like look at him and kind of come around or whatever. But is it,
Also, montage is one big thing that Hitchcock was. Yeah, it's gonna be like a old 2000 Lexus.
How would you get one of yours?
I would punch him. Look, I'm not gonna keep getting my ass in trouble. Yeah, I'm definitely thinking about, like, at first I was thinking, like, zooming in on, like, maybe, like, the implant, and then, like,
Yeah.
pan it up and coming to, like, that was just, like, the opening or whatever. I need to, like,
I like that
finish
though.
my sentence.
I kind of like that, like,
What's up?
hey. I like kind of like pushing in on it and then kind of like coming up. Like, how specifically does he use POV?
He, so I was watching some of his, like, stuff, like, the TV episodes he directed, and it's one called, Stream of Consciousness. So, like, this dude is in this car. Well, he starts off, he's rich, and, like, he thinks people who cry is weak and all this other stuff. And he ends up getting in this bad wreck, and, like, the steering wheel is, like, stuck underneath his chin like this. And so, like, he's literally stuck the whole time, and he has no lines. Like, he doesn't move his mouth because he's paralyzed. But you hear all his internal thoughts. And people come around and they're like, oh, what's wrong with this man? Is he dead? People steal his stuff off his body, steal stuff out of his car, like literally took his clothes off his body because they thought he was dead. And so it was this part where like he was like, maybe if I just move my finger, because like he realized he can move his finger, like people will hear the tapping, they'll realize he's not dead. Ironically, they don't. He ends up going to the morgue and he dies. But like, it was a part where he was on the ground and you are literally in the body of the paralyzed guy, and like you see a tear roll down the lens, and like it's supposed to be like him crying.
Yeah.
But like he just, I guess like the most POV shots, just like literally in the person's body.
Okay.
I can also send you some of the links of the videos that I watched.
Yeah, I kind of like to take a look at them just and see what like.
It was just like interesting, just period. 'Cause,
Yeah.
like, oh, wow.
Also, I agree. I think we could do something playful with POV in the car scene. I think that's we could find something pretty interesting to do.
One thing I feel like I probably already said it, but in directing, we was talking about like how to make something suspenseful, and it was like give the audience the information in the beginning, but obviously make it oblivious to the surrounding characters, what's going on. So like, I guess the famous one is like the bomb underneath the table. So like, showing the bomb and then coming around and like, oh, Jimmy, you're eat your cereal or whatever, and you're just like, oh my god, get the fuck out, bitch, it's a fucking bomb. But like,
Well, so that kind of feeds into your idea of like, kind of pushing on the car and then kind of coming up.
I feel like
this is the thing that's going to cause all the trouble, and then here's it causing the trouble.
No, for real. I'm like, Ferris, like, get your ass out of here. It's weird because like most of this stuff already because like I've been here a while. And it's like Let's see the minutes. 20 minutes.
Oh boy. Okay.
I feel like if we can make it to 25, we've done it. I don't even believe he's gonna watch all of this.
he watch, he will, and then he'll be
Yeah,
like,
like-
so, you didn't think I was gonna watch
Yeah,
this?
no, for real. Yours is actually the only one that I watched. My luck. I guess we can talk about cinematography, like the class, a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, and we're in the same lab, which is so funny, but
Mhm.
let's gossip. Let's get the tea. VHS. Loves it. But I didn't know you worked at the movie theater.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, well, first of all, I didn't know that was your last name. And so when I went into Sarah's office to meet about 42 stuff, she had all her stuff like spread around the table. I was like, I remember the last name, but I don't know the first. So I was like looking through all her stuff. I was like, found it. And then it just so happened I went to the movies and I saw you. I was like, oh gosh, look at fate. You like it there? I don't know.
Yeah, it's nice. It is.
I always wanted to work at a movie theater. It doesn't seem like too high maintenance.
Oh no, it's really low maintenance. It just doesn't pay like
Oh.
at all.
Can I be a manager?
I tried.
Really? They won't let you?
Well, they wanted me to, but somebody else got it instead of me. So I was like, well, I'm gonna go try and find some work elsewhere.
I'm a fucking film major, bitch.
Yeah, seriously. That's, I was like using that to my advantage. Like, already know this stuff. I want to play with the projectors.
That would be dope. I always like wondered, like, is it somebody up there like this at the start?
I wish it used to be, but now they're all like automatic. But it's still cool, like to be up there and like just like see them. Like, it's awesome.
I saw, I actually went to the movies again after that day I saw you. I saw The Prodigy. Have you seen it? Like, it was good, and like it had some good little things, like twist or whatever. But I just felt like they tried too hard on some aspects. And I was
Yeah.
like, okay, you really didn't have to keep beating that horse. We were watching that. What other film classes are you taking this semester?
Just capstone and cinematography.
Getting the fuck out of this bitch.
Yeah, please.
Where are you from?
Cincinnati.
Oh, okay. Come on.
I'm trying to like. I really just like. I'm trying to save up a bunch of money right now because I'm gonna buy. Hopefully, I'm gonna buy a Blackmagic, and then I'm just gonna like. Once I'm out of here, I'm just gonna start shooting a bunch of stuff
That's dope.
on my free time. I found a couple jobs in like Nashville that aren't like necessarily like film jobs, but it's like it's working with the camera, doing like videography and stuff like that. I'm gonna try and do that, so at least I'm like working with the camera and stuff like that, and then in all my free time, just kind of like working on projects and stuff like that.
Do you plan on like ever going back to Cincinnati?
I don't know. I mean, maybe. It just kind of depends.
It's kind of popping for film, ain't it? That's what I
Yeah.
thought.
There's a pretty big G&E department that's run out of there that apparently has like a lot of jobs.
Life. Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
I'm not ready for it.
Oh, it's
Real
genuinely
decisions.
scary. I'm hoping that Capstone helps me hone in a little bit more because it's intense. Getting ready to like be faced with like, oh wow, I don't have like school to fall back on. Like I'm just like a real adult now. It's pretty.
Looks like I have to get a real job now.
Yeah.
Is Travis teaching that?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like he's good at like helping people do that at least. Maybe.
Yeah, I mean he has like a really good like grasp of everything. So like, I think he knows and he's willing to help.
That's good. But you want to like focus? You want to focus in cinematography?
Not really. I realized, like, inadvertently, for most of my career here, I've been focused on production design, even though I don't really, like it that much. But, like, for 482, I did production design, and, like, all the labs that I had the most fun with. I did production design and stuff like that. I really do like cinematography, and I love working. Like, I love being a camera operator. So like, I just kind of want to boost my knowledge of lighting a lot more,
Yeah.
because I think liking working with the camera so much. I think that's a nice little is like being able to know all this stuff about lighting. You know, being able to be a grip and an electric. I can kind of work my way to the camera department.
Look at
from
me.
there. Who knows? We'll see. But
No, I feel that.
I truly I love writing, and I love directing. I kind of want to hone in my skills on other things a little bit more, because I've either been focusing on production design and directing for like most of everything, and I kind of ignored some other stuff. So
I really wish like they had like I don't know what the class would look like, but a production design.
they talked about it. Sarah had talked about it while I was in 482. She said her friend Allison was potentially going to come like help out with that. I wish that we could have figured that out before I left, because that would have been interesting, because I mean, as much as I don't really want to do it for the rest of my life, it is a wildly cool,
And
it's
like,
a really cool job.
Yeah.
It really is.
And you kind of forget like, well, damn, this is the movie. Like,
Yeah, and like literally, like it's every single thing that you see. Like they literally just make everything naked and then bring every single thing in. It's crazy.
the best interior designers you'll get. Let's see. You may have hit this mark. 27 freaking minutes.
Woo.
We can get to 28. It's 30 more seconds.
Okay. Well, yeah. So I'm gonna. If you send me those links, I'll take a look at them, and I'm kind of gonna base my lighting diagrams off of what I see in those.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm thinking fairly similar to what we had today. Surprisingly,
Yeah,
a little happy accident.
No, honestly, it was, and I'm happy. Like we kind of got thrown on the spot a little bit, because it kind of helped.
Honestly, it makes me feel a lot better that I'm like, wow, I can kind of like scrappily throw like a pretty okay lighting setup together, like on the fly. That's pretty neat.
Yeah, because today was just, huh?
I know, like literally, I walked in and I was like, why are there so many people in here? And then like I saw someone with like the binder, and I was like, we're not like shooting something today, are we? But
You
no,
didn't
we
get
are.
the memo.
We are.
Like I walked up to our.
Well, that's like, I sent a message in Slack last night, and I was like, hey, do we have a lab tomorrow? Because like no one mentioned anything in class, and Sarah was like, yep, it's on the syllabus. And I was
Yeah.
like, okay, totally, cool, I'll be there. And like I walked in, and I was like, not this guy. Are you serious? Jesus.
That's what it like, because I was waiting to get into the directing class, and then Luke was like, "Oh, we're gonna be in here today." And I'm like, "But isn't Sarah working with her 202 kids?" And then she was like, he said, "Well, since you direct next week, I'm gonna have you go ahead and do this." And I was like, "But I don't have anything. Yeah, I have scripts. That's about it." He said, "Don't worry, I'll help you." I said, "Good."
Well, that's like, I like literally like Sarah was like, I forget what she said, but she was just like, she was like, yeah, so you're gonna be like over there working with the camera, and they're gonna be in here doing this, and I was like, okay, but like I don't know what to do to like light this right now. And she was like, it's fine.
It's not.
Is it though?
You're telling me it's fine, but if I mess up, it's wrong.
I guess it's learning.
Yeah. Welcome to college. But I think, look at us.
All
oh my
right.
gosh.
Woo.